That was beautiful the way I said it.
Yeah.
We're talking about value. So let's go. Let's jump in. Um, I had a great opening, but that's all right. Change. Okay. So what we're going to do is I've got a PowerPoint here. And um, what we're going to do, can you see it? Let me see.
Yes.
Uh, okay, I'm going to spotlight it. Okay. So at the top, you see a value scale that goes from dark to light.
Mm-hmm.
And the lightest is the white of the paper. The darkest is totally concentrated with value, with color, graphite. So typically, if you go into a value scale of light to dark, 100 steps, and you could be able to separate all those values, those steps of value in a drawing, then you would basically have a photograph, something that looks photographic, looks real. So usually we work within 5 values when we paint or draw, sometimes 10. But what we're going to do is create a value scale. Let's see. I gotta figure out how to use this. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a value scale. We're going to leave this is cross hatching. It's a way to create a value scale, but we're going to ignore that today and we're going to just do shading. So there's all kinds of ways to say this value scale. There's shading. Um, there's other words, but work with me. So what we're going to do to begin with is we're going to create a value scale. So I want you to start with using your straight lines, and you're going to make about a 1-inch high. Let's not make it very big, but you could use your 6B pencil. You could use your 6B pencil, a soft pencil, and you're going to make 6 blocks about the same size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll need your kneaded eraser. And this, you want to keep it light. I'm drawing a little bit dark so that you can see it, but keep it light. And the squares don't have to be perfect because we're going to be coloring them in.
Right.
The fun part with shading is we're going back to our kid roots and we're coloring. So it's fun to do it.
You said you wanted to do 5 or 10?
4, 5, 6.
6?
Yeah. You can challenge yourself to go more, but for this, the 6 are good. 6 good. And I'm messing while I'm waiting, I'm doing this. We're using a 6B pencil because it's soft. It's a soft lead and it tends to be, it's dark to begin with. So with that, if you're a heavy-handed, you tend to draw heavy, dark lines. You'll want to lighten your pressure. So the way we make it dark is by pushing harder. So watch me and how I do this, and I'll talk through it to get you started.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to, when you're putting a layer of value on, you want to, it's almost like a printer, laser printer. So when you lay color down, you don't want to scribble. You don't want this because the scribbles are hard to hide, and we want a flat value. And do you see how I'm moving forward? I'm moving up, I'm moving down, and I want a flat value. I'm going to start dark, and as I move to the light, each square I go a little bit lighter.
That takes practice.
And I'm trying to step it down. So I'm trying to go from dark to light. So I'm trying to get the same amount. Can you see it okay? There we go. That's better. So I'm trying to go from dark and step down 6 values. It's about 20% lighter. As each step is about 20%. I don't want a white line between them. I want it to just color down. So as I go down, you release the grip on your pencil. Don't make it a tight grip.
Okay, see me? Look how
I know.
wrong.
Wait, let me change the gallery view. Let me change the value. Okay. Let me
You
see.
see what I started out as? Is this
Oh,
wrong?
you did. Well,
this-
it's okay. You can do, if that's the way you feel comfortable, you can do that.
Because I'm like, okay, is there a better way to do this, or is this just okay because it's me?
It might be because of you.
Yeah.
It's kind of the difference between if you're a knitter or a crocheter. You know, knitting, you fist it, crochet, you hold it real pretty. I fist my crochet hook because I'm a knitter. The thing is that you want is you don't draw on the point, you don't shade on the point, you shade along the side of the pencil.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you are I'm using a woodless pencil.
Yep.
I use woodless pencils because I don't have to worry about the wood. The wood will cut into the paper.
Got it.
The problem with woodless pencils is you drop them, then you have pieces. That's a little problematic. So as you're moving, you're filling. So all these little white spots,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want any white showing.
Okay.
You can use I don't use a shader or a blender or a stump. I use to blend because you can blend this. I've gotten into the habit of using the back side of my pinky. Not the pad, but the back side. So I'm using this to blend it down. You can use shaders, blenders. Let's see if I have one. Stumps. You could use a stump. But if you use a stump, they can darken very quickly. And I like the control of my finger. Plus, it goes with me wherever I go, so I don't have to search for it. So today what we're doing, we're just trying to get from dark to light in a progression that doesn't feel dark, dark, really light, just having this nice gradation from dark to light. And then I'm going to use a word, flatten as a pan, flatten it as like a pancake. And this is where you can get crazy. So, and I don't want to get too, well, later on, I'll show you how to do that. But right now, try to get it where it's blended. I'm just going to erase off the top to clean it up. And clean up the edges. I'm using my kneaded eraser to do this. Let's clean it up. And then when I squint down, when you squint, well, wait. I'm trying to tell you as much as I can without going too far. You can also use a makeup applicator, you know, the sponge applicators.
Okay.
When we work in Vine Charcoal, I'll use these to blend.
Mm.
You
Huh.
you can blend out that. Oh yeah.
Mm.
But again, you gotta be careful. It can get dark. See how that got really dark on me?
Holds it.
So this almost took it to this range up here. So let me see your eyeballs real quick. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it nice and flat, no white. And by using an applicator, I darkened everything. So everything, when you squint, you see how it's up here in the dark area?
Mm.
And I want it full range from the dark to the light. So I could take my kneaded eraser and I can tap it. So I'm gonna do what I can to lift off some of this value because it got too dark.
I did that on one of mine because I had like a line on from my,
You had a line in there?
had a heavy line where I didn't want it.
If you have a dark space like that, you can create a point on your eraser, kneaded eraser, and you can kiss it. You can kiss out the darker areas. That's awesome, Diane. Yes. So you got basically using your tools
Mm-hmm.
and playing.
To pull out some of the color.
Yeah. So we're pulling out color with the kneaded eraser, and we're laying in color, which is reductive, and we're laying in color with the 6B pencil. And we're trying to get a full range of value from the light. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add another square here to make my white.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I feel like my middle ones are neutral. I'm not
Um,
getting big of value difference that I want. I'm gonna give it some more color and play a little bit more. Because when I smoothed out, I took too much value out of this second one.
Yeah, it's trying to get that. You want about 20% shift.
Mm.
And then I have this value scale. You can get this at Hobby Lobby. And if do you see how when I capture it and I squint down, I can see how dark this is, the values.
Mhm. Yes.
So most of mine are down here in the lighter. And I want to darken this blacker. And sometimes it's just a 2% shift, you know, just a little bit. Okay. Go ahead and take a picture of what you got.
Okay.
Let me see what you got. Drop in a messenger.
Okay.
You'll find too, when you take a picture, you can actually see, you can see it better. When you take a photograph of what you're drawing, it like compresses it and you can see the problems. It's the
Mm.
what needs to be adjusted.
Get my light here. Feel like in the middle, I'm
Yeah, so mine too.
getting there.
Yeah, I'm squinting down. Yes. Darken. So darken, if I say, oh, the dark is 6, 5, 4, and goes down to 1 is the light. I can never remember which way to go, which one's light. So here, number
Dark.
6 is the darkest.
Okay.
I would just darken the 6, bring up 5, make it a little darker,
I'm good
a
that way.
smidge darker, the 3. So
So 3 stands out. And I believe, yeah, that's what I felt like just
Yeah.
dropped.
Y-
And
yeah.
felt
So
in
bring
value.
it darker. Yeah. So it's more of darkening 6, 5, 4,
Okay.
and then 3, 2, 1 are pretty good. And then Christina,
Yeah.
nice. These are beautiful, you both of you. Okay, that mid-range,
Yeah,
let's see.
I could make the darker, and then maybe do it that way.
Yeah, same. Darken your 6 is great. Darken your 5 a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
A smidge on 4, and then you should be good. And then tap out. Yeah, try that first. 5 darker, 4 a smidge, and then you've got it.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. I'm super excited. Can't wait to do this.
Mm.
And if you see, well, no, we're not going to go there. I'm not going to get too perfect right now. We don't have time. We got to move through this. But flat as a pancake, and you'll see it when in this process. It's that flat piece
Oh,
of value,
okay.
that flat piece of value.
Mhm.
And let's see, I guess Christina. Yeah, Christina. So I'm gonna switch my camera. I'll do a quick.
Oh, let me just shut the button.
Okay. Right here. Okay. Diane, watch this too. You can learn from this. Do you see right here? It's a
Mhm.
little bit white. Do you see that right
Yes,
here and here?
yes, yes.
Make that just not the whole thing. Just make that right in here a little bit darker.
All
Flat.
right. Fill.
And do you see these little white spaces?
Mhm.
Just blend them in. Don't do the whole thing, just those little areas right there.
Okay, yep, I got it.
Okay. Diane,
Yes.
do you see the, and
I see
Christina, you
it.
can watch this too. Do you see it, how it pops out right here?
Blend that.
Blend that. And the way you can blend it, or you can darken this light area. Not the whole thing. Just
Yep.
concentrate in these little holes.
Okay.
Okay. And then, okay, this is important too. Both of you look. Do you see this hard line right here between here and here? This hard shift? It's almost like a cliff between this shape of value and this shape of value. Do you see that? Right
Yes.
there.
Mhm.
So if you darken this just a little bit
Okay.
up to that edge, you will soften the edge.
Draw it in.
And when I talk about an edge, this is a brilliant example of
Mm.
one piece of value next to the other, and there's a hard shift from one to the other.
Mhm.
But if you put just a little value here on the lighter side,
Mhm.
you will soften that edge. What I
Amazing. That's,
do you
um,
see? You're doing edge control. Oh, so don't touch the dark shape.
Yep.
You're going to go in right here on the lighter shape, square number 5.
Yep.
And you're going to darken. This is a little too light. Do you see that? Right in here? And that's creating a hard edge.
Okay.
So you can blend the two together, but you can also darken the one beside it. Not as dark, but
Just
just make,
softly pull it
yeah.
in.
So I'll do that on mine. I'll create a hard edge. Okay, so, oh, ignore that.
It really shows up too when you picture it.
Yeah, when you take a photo of it, it pops, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 ways you can do this. So eyeballs on the camera.
Okay.
I'll do that. So there's 2 ways I can do this. Do you see this hard edge between the dark number 6 and number 5?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a hard shift. Now I could either use my finger and blend it, which we've done that, or I can come up to number 5 and I can put a little bit of value beside it. To soften that edge.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at one piece of value sitting next to the other. And we're manipulating the edge between them. And I hate it. I'm trying to make a point here. I'm becoming pointless. There. Okay.
Okay.
we can go crazy with this. I took a drawing class with my teacher down in Cincinnati, and we spent a year and a half
Mm,
flattening value
wow.
to create, because you can get to the level of reality by values, simple shapes, values, and edge control.
Interesting.
Okay, so we're gonna go to next. Go ahead and drop. Let me see what you got.
Mhm.
You you both have a pretty good command on it. So
I'm blending one little thing here. I started playing and I played too much.
Yes,
know.
that happened to me. Oh my gosh. So true.
no.
Now I'm mad. It was like I had it right before, but I took two and went the other direction. Like
I had
okay.
a drawing, a tree drawing that I sold. It was sold and it fell off the wall. It was in gallery show and it fell and the glass cracked and it didn't tear the paper, but it dented the paper. So then I had to blend it in. I had to make that little arrow disappear, right? So I'm making it a little darker. I'm touching it. I'm trying to get the stuff out of the groove. And Mark's like, yeah, it disappeared. And I touch and boom, do it again. It took 2 hours
Oh, that's
of
awful.
pushing and pulling and getting it to blend and then not touching it.
Yeah,
I got
This
it.
is how flattening things like a pancake,
that's awful when that happened.
getting we got it, but
Yeah.
okay, let's go ahead and drop there. You two,
Okay,
I
I'm
know
done.
my students and we can go crazy on this, so we're gonna take a breath, pull it back because we want to use I want you to use this. I want you to see the magic. Beautiful.
I sent mine a little just before. Okay.
So you can tell I was messing with 2 and 1 that I should have left alone, and then I got
Okay,
color in it.
these are beautiful. When you squint down, do you see how it goes dark to light, Christina? Beautiful.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
And Diane, squint. Do you see how it gradates? That's a gradation from dark to light. So we're using
Much
these art
better.
terms. We're using value, shading, we're blending, we're using edges. We saw what it meant for a hard edge versus a soft edge, how to soften edges. Filling value. So
Mhm.
you learned a lot just in this one little value scale. So I'm going to change my cameras and I'll wait until Christina's back.
I figured when we had this class scheduled, it was the calm before the storm in this house. So I have one grandchild here. He'll be 7, so shortly, later today. Like,
Oh my gosh.
and next Friday, they'll all be gone, but I'll have some siblings here, but you can send them outside. So the
They're
grandkids,
easier to control.
yeah, the grandkids will want to help.
Would it be easier to start since we're all Eastern? Would it be easier to start a little bit earlier than
It
10?
doesn't matter to me what time we start.
It's okay. All right. We'll wait for
Send
Christina.
me the link and say we're starting here, and I'm good.
You're
Okay.
ready to go. Okay. Let's start class 9 o'clock next week. How's that?
It's fine.
I'm fine.
Okay, good. Let's do that. And then that way we have the rest of the days open. Okay, we got to go because I want to get this done. I'm
Mhm.
going to get this to you because it's amazing. Okay, so when we look at what we're looking at is a sphere, and we're looking at a sphere. I'm trying to use my hands, and I realized, okay, we're looking at a sphere with light. The light is coming down on the upper right. So then these are terms that they use, and basically you have the light, the transition, then you have the place where the value slips around the ball, and then you go into I can't read, it's too small, but you can read it. I forget. Cast shadow. So you go from light to shadow, mid-tone in the middle, then it goes into a darker area.
Mhm.
We called it the bed bug line, that transition between the light and the shadow of the ball, and then the cast shadow. So what happens is basically we have the light on the ball and we have a value scale. Do you see that? The value scale wraps around the sphere and goes down to the floor on the table. Can you see that? We're
Mhm.
wrapping the value scale
Mm.
around. It goes from light to dark. Now, what we're talking about here is the separation of shadow and light. There's two words. We have the stuff in the light and the stuff in the shadow. They're two separate families. So anything in the light is going to be lighter than anything in the dark. Okay? I know that makes sense, right? Anything in the light side of the scale is going to be lighter than anything on the dark side in the shadow. Where a lot of artists fail in their work and their drawings is they put a light value in the shadow side.
Oh.
Okay, now you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, Michelle, that you open your eyes and you see underneath the ball, and this ball that we're looking at is a styrofoam and foam ball. And when you look at it, but do you see that little light underneath the ball?
Yes.
Can you see
On the
that?
light side. Uh-huh.
So eyes wide open, what that means is when we open up our eyes can make a transition between the shadow, the family of shadow, darks, and the family of light very quickly, okay? But if we were to capture that little bit, that's in the shadow side of the family. So it cannot, in a painting or drawing, for it to look right, feel real. You hear the word feel real. It has to be in the family of darks. Because if we were to draw that with a light at the family of light in there, it will pop off. It will pop out and stand out. To get the sense of reality, we have to have the family of darks and the family of light. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to do it with a 6B pencil. And what I'm going to do and ask you to think of, and this is a hard thing. Okay, I got to change cameras real quick. I got to use my hands. I got to see your face.
Mhm.
So what I'm asking you to do, and this is something it's seeing the world in the light and dark, shadow and light separation. Because when we go outside, we see trees, grass, sky. We see all these color, right? And objects. But in drawing and painting, we're looking at simple shapes. We're looking at the shadows, the darks, and the lights. So to get the feeling of reality with this sphere, we're going to look at the shadow side, which is the shadow along the side of the ball and the cast shadow.
Okay. I have a question on your picture.
Yeah.
With the ball, underneath that, the ray of light that I'm seeing in the picture is darker than or much lighter than the paper that it sits on.
Yes. That's because two reasons, two factors. It's a styrofoam ball, so there's some light coming through the ball.
Got it?
So, and let's see. I'm gonna do something real quick.
Now, in something like that, to get that effect, if we wanted that effect, would you be shadowing on your paper on the exterior of it to blend to show that little piece?
I love that you're thinking this already. Okay, so you can see it right here.
There's a lot of shadows besides the ball.
Okay, so what I want you to do is squint. Do you see how this all looks like one value? Like, don't squint your eyes because we'll get wrinkles, but just look through look through your eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see how it's a little bit lighter here,
Mhm.
but do you see how this shape right here,
Yes.
it comes down? This is all one value.
Mm.
Okay.
And this step between here and here, is it 5 steps?
No.
Is it maybe 2 steps?
Between 1 and 2, depends on the value. On the outer side, it's darker. In the inside, it's probably 2 steps.
Squint down. It's more like a half a step.
Is it
Oh,
really?
okay.
Okay.
If I were to take a Photoshop and
Mhm.
pull out that little piece of value, it's a
Okay.
lot darker than what you feel
It
and
is.
what
Okay.
you sense.
But there is a big drop from that curved edge of the left of the ball, the left to that highlight area. That's a bigger,
This,
in the shadow, like down lower, like in there. See that you see that hard line?
yes,
That's a bit, okay, little more of a jump there, right there. Yeah.
yes. And
Okay.
you remember when I showed you on the value scale, Diane, I think your dark to number 6 to number 5.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. But when we begin to get a sense of reality, I'm going to draw the sphere and I'm going to color this. I'm going to be a little gentle here right now just for the sake of doing it. I'm going to make this all a shadow. This is all one value.
Okay.
Not super dark, but a dark midtone, maybe like a number 5.
Okay.
Wow.
Now look at the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the jump from this
Yeah.
on the ball, the shadow side of the ball, to the background?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yes.
hard edge.
Right.
That's like 5 steps of value.
Mm-hmm.
But the shift between here and here, that's about half a step. But how about here? That's a soft edge
Yes.
because it gradates from the dark.
A 2 or 3 levels, would you say?
Yeah. There's almost, here's the white. This is the
Okay, yeah.
widest part.
So
You
then
say it's a full
1, 2, 3,
6.
4, 5, 6. Yeah.
So it's a full range of values.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on what we just did, is that right? We're
Yes.
full 6 through there?
Yeah,
There's a full range of values here.
makes sense.
Now, do you see this edge? And just like the value scale, now we have a range of edges. So this is the hardest edge, the tightest, the strongest, the biggest value shift. But do you see this edge right here?
Mhm.
It's not as hard as that one. Do you see the difference? This is a little softer.
Interesting. Yep.
And do you see the shadow out here, how it falls away?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Is that a hard edge or a soft edge?
It's soft.
Soft. So things that are closer to the object, the trees, are going to have a harder edge. As the shadow falls away, it gets
Mm.
softer.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stop sharing and I'll show you how to do this. So first of all, because when you do this, it happens so fast. So stay with me on this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start. Okay, I'm going to start with a circle. And for the sake of what I'm doing, I'm going to do it quick. I'm going to use a circle. You could use a cup,
Mm-hmm.
but you can trace a circle. And I'm going to put my cast shadow on here and what I see. I'm not going to get too worried about this on getting things perfect because I'm not really interested I'm more interested in the value, getting that right. So I'm laying in the cast shadow and I've got the ball. Can you see it? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to keep my outlines. Remember, outlines are very light. And then the cross contour of the shadow side of the ball goes around the ball,
Okay.
right? And it doesn't happen up here. It happens down here toward the back of the ball. All right. I am going to treat this as the shadow side of the ball, one value. It's one value. So when I color it, I'm going to make sure I'm going to erase the line that I have there. And you don't want to press the line when you draw it. Do not press, because if you do, you'll end up with a white line.
Okay.
So I have to lay in the value, and I'm just going right over that line that I have for the ball. Okay. I'm mentally telling myself the shadow side, the light side. Okay, so I'm just covering it. And then I'm going to lay in the piece of value here. And because I know it gradates out and gets a little bit lighter, I'm just going to lift my pencil. I'm making it a little bit, I'm just releasing the pressure of my pencil. And then I'm breathing, trying to breathe. I'm going to stand up so I can see it. Okay. So now I'm messing around trying to feel my way through this. I'm on the side of my pencil. Now I'm going to use my finger and blend it. And remember how I said this is a soft edge right here?
Mhm.
So I'm blending it out. I'm flattening it. And literally this drawing is so, it feels like when I draw people around things, I feel like my hand is moving around the page. So even though I'm on a flat surface, I feel like I'm actually moving, that this is an actual ball that I can feel and touch.
Mhm.
Drawing can be very sculptural. I'm going to darken this up just a little bit. So if we had a lot of time, I'm doing this pretty quickly. It's all right. All right. So this edge right here is a little bit tighter. Okay. Do you already see how it feels like a ball?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, it has an outline to it. Okay. I got it. This man, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So I'm treating this as a shadow shape and a lit shape. And it already feels, you already get a sense of the ball, right?
Mhm.
But remember that light spot that we were seeing here?
Yes.
And this was a little bit darker. This was a little bit lighter. Okay. I'm gonna keep things simple. Keep it simple. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to separate the ball from the table.
Mhm.
And the way I do that is manipulating the value.
Mm.
So, and this gets a little bit challenging because when I say this, I'm not creating an outline, I'm creating an edge.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
Ah,
I'm darkening, I'm gradating. You see how that's starting to pop away?
yeah.
Now, I know I'm going to ignore the drawing or the photo for now and just show you that because there's a variety of stuff that's happening in the photograph that you see.
Mhm.
But for the sake of time, I just
Mhm.
want to do this real quick and say the cast shadow is darker than the ball. Because I want to do a vine charcoal one too. So do you see how this is feeling real? Do you
Mhm.
see it? But I have an outline here, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that outline's flattened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to lift that off. And I'm going to use my dirty finger. And
Oh.
you remember Ola Mills, how they would do this? They put just the Ola Mill.
Yes,
They put
she
a
may
little,
not know the name.
huh? What?
Do you recognize the artist name for Olin Mills?
Who is it?
Pennsylvania?
I just remember the,
How they would shadow? Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So do you see how all of a sudden, and I've got a little bit of a line there, so I'll just go in and clean it up.
Huh?
And I use and mine's a little dark, so when you draw your circle, keep it
Right.
light.
Okay.
And then you're not fighting trying to get it off.
Look at that. Wow.
And can you use that line as a benefit and blend it? Or leave it alone and erase it completely?
So if I want to leave it, I can make it a little darker.
Use it as a blending on the outside.
Yes.
Mm.
So do you see how I'm just making my line blend it out. I'm adding next to it. And this is Chiaroscuro. Vermeer was a master at this of light. And it's chiaroscuro is a art term for
Spell it.
it. I'll Google and send it.
I thought
Chiaroscuro.
Just the fact that I could say it is
right.
amazing. And then, okay, real quick. Okay, this has some light. Watch this. If I go in and do what I think is happening, it's really light. Do you see what happens?
Wow.
It pops off, right?
It does.
Yeah. Wow.
It looks wrong. But if I go in, so that value, I can darken right here a little bit darker. If I darken this, it will make that look lighter.
That's cool.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
You got 5 minutes, go.
You're funny. Okay.
Draw a circle.
Yep.
Let me grab a coffee cup.
Okay. Draw a circle and a cast shadow.
Okay. What pen was 6B?
6B.
Pencil. Okay.
Oh, my coffee cup's too big.
Draw a circle
Yeah.
and a cast shadow. Got a circle, cast shadow, and draw the cross contour line of where the shadow and the light happens on the ball. It's not in the center of the ball, it's to the left of the center. So it wraps around the ball. Okay. So draw a circle, cast shadow, keep it all light, cross contour, and then value. and move quickly. Don't go slow. Just move it straight across. Link the shadow of the ball to the cast shadow. That's one shape. And if you have too much, my line was too dark, so it's showing. So I'll just tap it out, pull it off. As you move away from the ball, lighten the pressure. Same with the shadow on the cast shadow or the shadow separation on the ball. Darker in the behind to the left of the contour line and softer. So I'm not going to stop at that line. I'm going to draw over or color over it a little bit. Heavier to the left, lift the pencil to the right of that contour line. Use your finger to go around the ball, just as if you were touching a baby. Just feel like you're going around that cheek, that little fat baby. It's chubby cheeks. And you can feel press and then pull it up. Give it some love. I'm using the pad of my finger. I should not be doing this because I get oil on my paper and then it's hard to cover. But I just want to get it on there as quick as I can. So do as I say, not as I do. So what I'm looking at is shadow, shape, the ball and the table are one, and soft edges on the ball. One shape and soft edges to the left of the cast shadow. A lot of artists don't understand this.
Really?
You'll see,
A harder line than I want, so I guess I'm gonna lift some of this.
where's your hard line?
It's right where my material stopped and I started pushing it.
Oh, because when you're laying in a value,
Yeah,
yeah, just if that happens, like it's almost like you're knitting it together like that. You've got something like that transition.
yeah,
Just
that
knit them.
transition.
You can knit them together with your kneading eraser.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to.
And then use your
top.
finger, your middle finger, and push the crap out of it.
Okay.
And then you can flatten it. Christina, how are you doing?
I'm good. You know, it's the shape of the shadow I was struggling with. It seems like there's some wiggle room. It doesn't have to be perfect. The one in the picture looks more oval. you know, where the one you're doing now, it had looser borders, so I realized, I guess there's room for error in a way.
Yeah, for the sake of time, I'm more concerned or interested not in the perfection or the drawing.
Yes.
It's more of how you handle getting
Yep.
the values down, getting it colored, and having that transition of soft edge and hard edge. Because my cast shadows don't look like what I'm looking at. In fact, they even changed. I've got one that looks like that, one that they're all over the place.
Mm.
So, okay.
But let's not get distracted by
Yeah.
I don't want you to get distracted by the drawing part. I want you to be focused on the value part.
Yep.
So you just want us to do those two basic things right now.
Yep. Should look something and I'm going to stand up. Sometimes, you know what? If you stand up, you can see it better too. In the real world, it would be nice to be doing this on a vertical surface. Yeah, if you stand up, you can see it better. So you want a nice transition. You want a shadow and light and the edges between. Let me see. Go ahead and take a picture and let me see where you're at.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, Diane,
Yes.
take your finger and to the cast shadow, do this.
Okay.
And then the ball, there's
Yes.
the step of value between, what did you just do? So the step of value between here and here,
Yes.
oh,
Too
it's
dark.
too dark. So just take your dirty finger and just give it some love. Pull it around.
Okay. See what I can do here.
So the cast shadow, blend it out. Just smear it out.
What if all my fingers are dirty?
I know, right? Oh my goodness.
Christina,
Yes, ma'am.
see this right here?
Yes, yes.
Just so
Blend
what I
it.
want you to do on yours, just make that flat as a pancake, this whole area, because this
Mhm.
is,
Yeah.
and then same. I want you to add a little bit more value in here. Just
Yep.
knit these together.
Got
Right
it.
now, it feels like they're not together yet.
Okay.
You're jumping too far.
Got it. Okay.
So go ahead and knit these together and then give it some love.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Make
this
it look
thing.
so easy.
Do what? Say it again.
It looks so easy. This is not easy.
Right, right.
Well, you're fighting your brain.
I know I'm fighting my brain.
I know. See, Christina, I can tell you what Christina's thinking. Look at this. But this is lighter, this is darker, this is a little darker up here and the lighter here. So your brain's going to process all this, right? And I see it and you're starting to get it, but you got to start with that flat value.
Right. It's almost like I was plugging in shapes of value as opposed to blending value. I was plugging in a little
Yes.
darker piece here and a darker piece there.
And you get to do that. Okay, this is huge. You get to do that. Okay. This is huge. You get to play with that. Those are the sprinkles on the cupcake.
Okay.
When you get to manipulate, oh, this is a little darker here, you get to do
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But just like our bodies, we have bones, right? Our bones hold our structure. The eyelashes, the freckles, the hair, that's all the cupcake, the sprinkles. But that one piece of value, you get that on first, that one flat piece of value, thinking about, and I'm already making it complex because I'm asking you to put a flat value and
Mhm,
thinking about those soft edges.
mhm,
Soft edge on the ball, soft edge on, that's it. So I'm pulling you back. And then once you get that,
mhm.
then you get to play.
Right, okay.
So
Got
we always want to jump to the end. I
That's
do
true.
this too. You want to jump to the finish too fast. But did you see how fast this ball, how my drawing went, boop, all of a sudden it was there, and then you already sense,
Mhm.
I haven't even messed with any of the, so do you feel the scent right here, this drawing, my drawing already feels like a ball with light on it. Do you see that?
Got it, yep.
And I just have one piece of value,
Mm,
soft edge on the cast shadow, soft edge wrapping around the ball. One piece. So pulling it back and slowing it down and one simple value. It, I make it sound simple, right?
mhm,
But I'm teaching. When I learned how to do this, I
mhm.
was unlearning. I was retraining my brain and unlearning what I
Mm,
was, breaking. Oh yeah, Christina, look at that.
Yeah. A little better?
A ton's better.
Okay,
Now take your fingers, soften this a little bit
Yeah.
more,
okay.
and then this transition between here and here,
Yes.
just give it some love.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Give it some love. Yes, much better. You like it better, don't you?
Yes. That really helped the whole idea of the flattened color first.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Even here, look at the difference between
Yeah.
in the thumbnail sketch. Look at the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, just give it some love. The transition between the shadow and the light, that mid-tone right
Right.
here.
Now, Michelle and Diane, Michelle, if I don't know if you're going to finish a little bit more, but if you're recording this, can you just send it to me and I will definitely finish, working on this, or I'll listen to the video and then I'll
Yes.
send it back to you,
Yes.
only because I do have to,
You need to go.
unfortunately,
Yes.
go over a bridge, which I wasn't wanting to go over. Anyway, and I don't know what the traffic's like, but this is fascinating. I can't wait to go at this later, really.
I will send
Okay.
it. I'll send the recording to you, and I also do I do a ball and a pair, this pair and another ball. So I'll
Well,
have
and I'll be
multiples.
able to see that still life. So just let me know at the end, leave off what you want me to end with, and I'll work.
We're gonna go in. We're gonna utilize this next week with still life. Right now,
Okay.
we're just using objects. So yeah,
Okay, fine. Great.
I'll
So it's
indicate
great
where.
to see you guys. Thank you for helping out with my needing to leave, but we'll talk again. Diane, enjoy Tennessee.
Thank
Lake
you. Thanks
Norris.
for waiting on me today. I know I slowed everybody down, but
Not at all. It's fine. Thank
great.
you so very much. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. You're frozen. Are you there?
Am I moving now?
You're frozen.
I'm still frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Nope. Picture.
Okay, now I'm moving. Am I moving now?
I have a blank screen. I see myself.
Oh no.
I can hear you, but I don't see anything.
That's not good. Okay, now, do you see anything?
Same.
Ah,
Now you know my frustration when I started this where it's like, okay, where'd everybody go?
I know. I'm connected. Are you sure it's not you?
It could be. It's very possible. I'm tapping on my screen. I see me. I see a cursor. Let's move me over. Video, mute, share screen. Let's try this.
Nothing?
Participants to. Nope, I don't think I want to do that.
Let me remove spotlight.
There you go.
Am I here? Okay. Oh, I know what happened. I had on spotlight, Christina. I'm gonna stop recording. No, I'm gonna keep going. Okay. Okay, let's see what you got.
Okay. I'll send you a picture and then
Ooh.
my ball's crooked. It's got a lump.
Wait, what? Oh, you're on your ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shadow gave it a lump.
Let me change my screen. Okay. So,
Blending a little bit more.
okay, do you see this outline right here?
Yes.
So what I want you to do, we want flat value completely. So with your finger, and do you see how you have like this light, this dark, and this light here? So I want you to go in and just flatten that out completely. Because this dark line right here creates an outline. So go ahead and flatten it out.
Do you want to see any line in there?
Nothing,
Nothing.
no line. It has to look like, you see how mine is completely flat?
Okay.
No line. Completely flat. Yeah, I think your brain jumped. It jumped to the finish too quick.
Why would you want it to look? And should I take out more?
Just a sec. I mean, yeah, flatter.
Okay.
So, okay, look at the picture. You
Okay.
see it?
That's like yeah, but no. My face is right over my picture. I'm moving. There you go.
Can you see? Do you see this light here and here?
Add material.
You can add a little bit. Yeah, just very lightly with your pencil, just lightly. Add a little bit. And then it's kind of a balance between add a little bit and blend a little bit.
Mhm. Okay.
Because you don't want it to get any darker than this on the side of the ball. So don't touch this. See this dark band right here?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to touch that.
Give me that one.
And if this is too dark, you could take your kneaded eraser and just pop it and kiss it. Kiss, 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 kiss. Or you can create an edge, a flat spot on your kneaded eraser and just kind of blend it over. It's getting closer.
I think I've got it out of there.
This is the only time I get picky.
No,
It's just,
teaches me what not to do.
yeah, it teaches, and it trains your eye to see the nuances. Because when we first look at it, it's like, okay, that looks the same value, but when you look at it, you can feel the light here. You can all of a sudden, yeah, it's training your eye to see the nuances.
Let's try this. Next one's that.
Okay, see how it's starting to, the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go one more. Can you see this area right here? Is
Yes.
this lighter or darker?
Lighter.
Okay.
Fill that in.
Yeah, fix that.
I like it when I rub, I take too much off.
I know. Yeah, there's that sweet spot.
Yes. Putting enough in and then softening it.
And moving through that struggle of trying to get it, and that's you're training your own body too hard, too light, not enough, to add material, to lift it. So now you're learning your own technique, your own body, the way you move and manipulate the
My pencil.
material. This is where I love doing this. That once you start to have command and this ability to use the value, the edges, the softness, it's magic. When I create people, draw people, I see the person emerge off the page right in front of my eyes.
Okay. I think I put enough material there. I'm gonna try to blend.
Yeah, we kind of, yeah. Okay, this is what you had.
Yep.
Okay, that's what where you were at, and this is where you're at now.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the difference?
Absolutely.
Now, when I look at it, there's a little bit, do you see this banding of dark right here?
Yes.
See if you can play with it just a little bit.
Okay.
With your kneaded eraser, just go in and kiss it
Okay.
and see what happens. And I'm just barely, I'm not squishing, I'm just barely, I'm kissing it. Little pecks. Just to knit it together a little bit. Yeah, we're kind of stepping away from the photo and we're treating this, the drawing. Now
And I
we're,
think if I look at it and turn my page in different lights, I pick it up. I think I'm getting light from my windows in here too.
oh, you probably are. The glare behind you. Yeah.
They're in front of me and the glare behind me.
Yeah.
In the page, I'm picking up and seeing that.
Does it look flat to you? Because we're also looking through digital, through your camera, my camera, we're looking through different.
I think when I turn my book, I see it better.
Okay. Nice. Making your materials work for you.
Because I have that. Location, I think, of where I'm sitting. I still see some of that. See if I can pull some of that more out.
Then what I want you to do is erase that outline of the ball because it's a little too dark.
Mm-hmm.
And with your finger, your dirty finger, go in and put in a background. I'm not going to go around. It's a flat background. So go in one direction. Don't just wrap a little circle around it like a halo. Put material in there that goes out. So when I'll take a dirty finger, get some in there because you want an edge. And you want it to, not a halo, like an outline. Because an outline we think of as just a pencil line as an outline. An outline can be 20 feet wide. It could be a half an inch wide. An outline could be thick, bold. So I want it to gradate. And usually because it's a flat surface, I move my finger in one direction. When it's a round surface, I move it around. Just like the cross contour lines, I move it around the object. Flat surface, I move it in one direction, just like the contour lines that we did last week. If you want, you could darken it a little bit. Gently add material, not an outline. You can just put a little bit of graphite there. And blend it out. And once you get to that point, I'm also going to have you do this, Diane.
Okay.
The separation between here and here,
Mhm.
just take a clean finger and just soften a little bit, pull it up, and you may end up taking all the white out, not dark, and you can always pull it back. You can always lift it in, put it back in. But just soften that. It looks a little bit like straw. Just soften that a little bit. Just a little bit, not much. Give it some loving in that area. And then let me see where you're at.
I just feel like I have too much darkness. Once you get started on these dark colors,
Yeah.
you had all this extra graphite on your page.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me.
Yeah.
I need to control that.
It takes. So what happens with that? Because I'm a messy painter. I was messy with my stuff. So what happens with that? You buy a $10 piece of paper, right? And you have this beautiful drawing, and then you make a mess around it, and then you destroy you learn to be clean
Yeah.
in the way you draw. So that you're not laying on the paper, you're not smearing it with your arm. So I have a kickstand. So I use my pinky as a kickstand sometimes when I want to get into tight areas. So you learn not to put your body on the page.
Oh yeah, I can see. I have prints on here.
So you learn how not to do it.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
destroy some page, you destroy a drawing. You're like
So,
printmaking made me a clean artist because I learned how to not touch things with dirty fingers
yeah.
and you oh, another trick you could do if you are having troubles keeping it clean, I'll show you this. So if you know you're just a messy with the drawing, what you could do is take paper, printmaking paper or printer paper,
Yeah.
and you can lay it down.
While you're
So
doing.
you can rest your hand here while you're drawing.
Yeah, I may need that trick for a while.
Yeah, and that will keep because we feel like we need to anchor our hand in order to draw. But when I'm drawing, my hand is up. When I'm coloring, I'm off the page. I'm not touching the page. If I go into a tight area, like I need some stability, I'll use my pinky, I'll touch it, and then I can have some stability.
And then I've already got graphite on my pinky, and so that puts.
Well, if you use the side, this is where it gets the nuances, okay? If you use the side, then you can use the tip, like your fingernail. Oh,
Can you
wow,
see
look
that?
at that. Okay, I just got chills. Look at that. I got chills. Look at it glow.
Mhm.
Okay, let's separate the ball. Now we get to separate the ball from the table, okay? Look how beautiful that is.
It's coming.
It's coming. Okay, let's separate the ball from the table.
Right.
And the way we do that, I'm going to stand up so I can see it. So we have that, and maybe you can't necessarily see it, but you can feel where you don't have to draw it, but we're just going to darken the cast shadow behind the ball. And I'm not going to draw an outline. There it is. I couldn't see it, so I turned it. And I'm going to darken, I'm going to create an edge by darkening the cast shadow, the shape of the cast shadow next to the ball to separate it. So I'm creating an edge, a hard edge right there. So go ahead and try that.
Okay.
So do you see how it lifts off the page?
Yep.
I'm
Here's-
creating an edge, not an outline, an edge, hard edge between the cast shadow, and I'm gradating it out because I don't want to outline between the ball and the cast shadow.
How high up are you going? Pretty far, aren't you?
I went up to about right
3/4
here
of the way. Yeah.
because, and yours is pretty dark. What you could do, okay, go ahead and get that first, and then I'll tell you what you could do. Because it's pretty dark up here, isn't it? But we want that half step value between, but get this bottom part first. Where we see that it's in the photo, it's darker, so go ahead and lay that in. So it's definitely darker here. By making this darker, this looks lighter. So by making the cast shadow on the bottom darker, it makes the ball reflected light on the ball look lighter. So Let me show. So for Christina, here, I'm gonna make that, I'm really gonna make that look lighter right here. So do you see how I did that, Diane?
Yeah.
See how this looks a lot lighter now?
Mm-hmm.
And I just made this cast shadow darker and the edge between sharper. It's not an outline.
Just more graphite,
Yeah,
more material.
more material. So it was a flattened shape. It was a
Yep.
flattened value. By making this darker, harder edge, that glows. Okay, let me see what you got.
I think I got one spot I want to correct right now. That's better. All right.
And I didn't have to pull any light out. I just made the darker, harder edge. Yes. Look at that.
Is that enough?
So what you can do, I think,
A little bit.
do you see how right here?
Yeah.
There's some white in there. If you
Yes.
just fill that in a little bit and keep the roundness of the ball and just fill that in just a little bit. So just a little bit. Now we're picking, we're getting really, it could be your paper too. When
Could be
you
my-
touch the texture, we didn't talk about that. When you have the drawing paper, don't you? We have the same paper, so
I do.
you should be good. If your paper has a lot of texture to it, it's harder to get this feeling. It needs to be
Because
not
it's
super
the paper.
smooth.
Hmm.
It needs a little bit of texture, but not a lot. More smoother than it looks like smooth. Let me see Christina's. Yeah, Christina's fine. Christina, you're fine too. You've got smooth paper. You don't have a texture. Mixed media has a lot of texture to it. Then let's look at up here, this half step of value. So now the ball is a little bit darker at the top. So I can do two things. I'm going to start by making the ball. I'm going to put some value here on the ball and just, now I'm making the tight edge, the value on the ball a little darker. Down here, I made the cast shadow a little darker. Up here, I'm going to carefully, and I'm even laying in the material as if I'm going around the ball. On yours, Diane, I would take because mine isn't very dark, I can do that. Yours, you could take your kneaded eraser. I'm creating a flat spot,
You're right.
and you can come up to the ball and just pull off some material, just ever so lightly.
Off the shadow?
Off the cast shadow, yes. So I'm coming up to the ball and I'm pulling it away. And then I'm blending it out. So you can add material to the ball, or you can remove material from the cast shadow. But the value between the ball and the cast shadow at that point is only half a step. is not 3 steps or 2 steps. It's kind of fun looking at the camera because like I said, the camera tends to compress things. So you can crazy get the sense. Look at that. It looks real. You almost feel like you can pick the thing off. When you see hyperrealism drawing and painting, this is the way they start. Simple shapes, flat value, simple shapes in the edges between. You think it's like everything's drawn out, but it's not. That's not how you get reality. I think it like satisfies that sense of coloring, you know? We're coloring in, we're painting with graphite right now. We're basically painting.
I still feel like I need more of an edge. And I keep on playing with this and I'm like,
We're at, let me see.
oh, at the top.
Let me,
It might be close. I'll send you a
Okay.
picture.
send me a picture. Ooh. Okay. 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 This is looking really good. Look at that.
It's getting
This-
there. I've
this
been
is-
messing with the top part of it, not the shadow. Just
Yeah.
to give it a little bit more
Oh.
darkness curve.
Oh, so you added value in here to get it. You didn't mess with that. Look at that.
Did both.
Beautiful.
I added a little value on the top and then tried to not mess with any lines. Oops. There.
And do you see? Okay, now this is gonna get crazy, but I know you want it. Okay. Do you see how in the photo it's almost like a little wedge through here? So just go ahead and bring that. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me. I don't want you to do that. Clean up. Take your eraser.
Okay.
Take your eraser and make a point. And right here, clean
Yes.
up this edge. Just make it, just clean that edge up right there.
Did that. Okay.
Take your finger. This edge on the cast shadow is too tight. It's too hard. So take your finger and then soften that edge right here. Soften that edge.
Okay.
In fact, take your finger and go beyond and just blend this out over here. And we're going to do something. Let me know when you've got that.
I'm cleaning up that edge yet. I've got the rounding, but I'm trying to clean the top edge.
Got it. And you might You might turn it upside down to get in there.
Yeah, I'm playing.
Are you? Okay. It's looking
Pretty close.
okay. Now this one is a little bit of a challenge.
Okay.
So why wouldn't you do down here on the bottom?
Yes.
Take your eraser, tap out. Don't pull, but tap out a straight line or hard edge, tap it out, don't pull it, and just kind of clean it up. Not tight, but just clean it up just a little bit right here. Clean
Got
up
it.
just a little bit. Not super tight,
Often, but not too much.
not too much, yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it now that I pull this.
Do you see it?
Yeah, and I've got a little hole in there after I do that too. So I'm going to put a little tiny material in there.
Perfect. Yeah, it's like this. It's like a ballet. You know, when you do it, it's like the push and the pull and moving in the hand.
I'm just pulling that edge out of there now.
Yeah. Is it happening? Is it popping off the page?
Yes, and I'm pulling a corner out. A little bit more. Right here.
If
Well,
you
that's-
let your eyes go crooked, cross-eyed, if you let your eyes go cross-eyed, you'll
Mhm.
see it start to happen. That's an advanced technique that I do as I go cross-eyed.
Mm-mm. Okay, I'll send you what I did.
Let's see where you're at. Okay. This is where you were.
Yep.
That's where you were. It's an amazing, okay, you're being critical. I can see the look. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You're cleaning your eyes right now. Now look. I do that. I'll clean my eyes. So I'll close my eyes, I'll walk away, I come back, and then I look. And then that first, and then hold on to that first, whoa. That
And
first,
do you think my shadow on the bowl is enough? See,
enough.
when I look at this, I'm only thinking, oh, that's not dark enough, but it's just a half shade up from the ball. And it must be enough. But I just wonder if I should get it closer. If I should
So-
get it closer 3/4 of the way up to the ball.
Wait, wait 1 second.
When I look at the shadow,
Okay, look at me, eyes.
when I look at the shadow, I feel like my shadow is in like a V form at the bottom, the extra darkening area.
Okay.
Is that good?
Okay. Hold just a minute.
Okay.
We gotta do this. I want you to pull out, relax. Okay. I don't want you to drive yourself crazy.
I won't.
We're getting ready to.
Oh, good.
We're coming close.
Going crazy? Perfect.
I want you to celebrate. Look at this drawing. Look how much you've grown. Remember, okay. I'm
Oh,
gonna
absolutely.
you look at your drawing and I'm gonna post where you were at. Okay. This is huge. Okay. Look at the oh I gotta change the camera. Okay, take a moment, just take a moment. This is where you were. Now look at where you're at now. Oh, yeah, you have to,
Oh, yes,
do you see the difference?
absolutely.
It's pretty. I mean, yes, it can be more, but look at where you're at now.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you see the difference?
Yes. And I'm looking at our shadow and our original.
Yeah.
What we could, or I could change on this, but
Mhm.
we weren't going after that. We were going after the shadowing effect.
Yes. We're getting it right now. We're not concerned about the drawing right now. Look at this. This looks real. What I'm more concerned about is you have the understanding that you know how to get the feeling of shadow, the
Mhm.
difference, the family of shadow and the family of light. You have that feeling of roundness
Yes.
and your ability to manipulate the edges between. And you have a sense of reality. Now, is it exactly like the photo that the picture that I showed? No. Is mine exactly like it? No. But when you look at the drawing, does it feel like it's round? Does it feel like you can reach in and pick it up? Yes. Does it feel that I could reach in and pick it up? Yes.
Yes.
That is that is an A plus.
Thank you. That was
So
fun.
now let's do something real quick. Do you have time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's do now. Okay. All right. Now the reason I did that, the reason I had you go through that,
Sure.
there's this contraction of getting it to look real. But there's this expansion of the drawing. We don't have to worry about mimicking exactly what we see because no one's going to see what we saw. They see
Right.
the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
In our head, we're like, yeah, but it's not quite right.
So true.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And that's what makes us really good. That's what makes us really good at what we do because we want it to be there. But when we want it to be there, we stop ourselves from growing. Okay. And this is huge. This is huge. And to be able to say, whoa, look what I can do. Because this is just the beginning. How many times have you done this?
Once. First time for everything, right? Absolutely.
And look at what you can do on the first time.
Yes.
Now
Okay.
imagine doing this 100 times,
Yes.
what you would have,
Mhm.
and having the understanding and the control of your body and that pressure. Do you know what do you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to have it. We can take you to museum level right now. But what's the fun in that? Okay, let's do
Practice.
this is just play. So I want to keep you there, okay? I know that you can do museum level quality drawings pretty quick. I know this. I know that with you and Christina. I know I could see it. I could see the desire, I could see the ability, and it's coming, but let's stay in the process and have some fun, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now I want you to get your vine charcoal out
All right.
because watch what. This is where the real magic happens. This is my favorite medium, is vine charcoal.
This is what I have. Is that what you have?
Mhm. So I want you to break off a stick about
big.
this, a little bit smaller, about an inch.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. And let me show you how I'll show you what to do.
Okay.
And you'll be amazed at how quickly this happens. And this is very sensitive to the touch.
Okay.
And yeah, it's fun. This is my favorite medium to work with. The thing about Vine charcoal is you can do a drawing and then you can wipe the page and it'll disappear. So it's very
And we picked up Vine charcoal that is soft.
it's right.
Yeah.
It comes soft, medium, hard, just like with pencils, the harder the lighter. So we want something to get to be dark. So we want it to be soft. And the different types of Vine charcoal, just the name brands, some are darker, it just depends. It's Vine charcoal is basically a grapevine that's been burnt and compressed. So
Okay.
we're drawing with a burnt. Willow is willow because you can get willow, and that's like a willow tree.
Mhm.
And again, it's burnt and compressed. I like Vine charcoal a little bit better because willow has like a little bit of a plasticky feeling on the outside. You just have, when you use it, you have to break through that. I say that because Christina, you have it. So on a piece of paper, just lay in a piece of value. That will make sense as you're watching this, what it means. So I'm going to do a demo, show you how to do Vine charcoal. And so again, and this is very sensitive to the touch. So it moves and it's very sculptural. You can add and subtract. It's very, it moves. Okay. I'm trying to find words and it's not making sense. I'm just kidding. All right. So again, this time I'm going to start with the circle and the cast shadow, same method. This, and I'm going to put a cast shadow here and I'm going to do the contour line. So it's all the same. But because I'm using Vine charcoal, I want to keep my lines very light. So
Okay.
you could barely see them, right? This is almost too dark. So you want very light lines. Okay. When you lay in Vine charcoal, the value, I'm working on the side of the stick.
Okay.
And the thing about Vine charcoal, and we're going to do this next week when we're working with value, we're going to be playing with this. But I'm going to lay in some value. I'm coloring it in. And there's this, I'm trying to get material down. I'm not very happy with my drawing paper. There's a paper that I use. So I'm trying to, so when you put material down, you don't want to do what I did, that back and forth, because you end up taking it off and putting it on, taking it off. Again, it's, okay, there we go. You want to, just like a typewriter, back and forth, or a laser printer. I'm using the dirty side of my finger. I'm laying in one piece of value.
Michelle, do you want me to start a new drawing and do this?
Yeah,
All right.
go ahead and start anew. The beautiful thing with fine charcoal is you can cover so quickly. You can cover big areas very quickly. And I'm filling with the side. I'm not using the tip of it. Oh, yeah. So some of the sticks are not created equal. This stick is actually a softer one. If you're really struggling, you might have try a different paper.
I drew my line on and now I'm taking most of it off before I start.
Yeah,
Give me a super light line.
there we go. And you got your contour line on the shadow. And I gotta be careful because I created an edge. So I'm keeping everything really soft. So just like with the pencil, I'm thinking soft edges out here, fades away. And now I'm just flattening. Thinking the edges. Flattening and edges, flattening. Then I'll clean up a little bit. With fine charcoal, you don't want to breathe in the material. So if you get crummies on it, you turn the page up and you tap it.
Okay.
You don't want to blow because it could it'll get in the air and then you breathe.
Okay.
It can feel a little slippery when you're doing this. Like you just barely touch it and then it moves.
There's
Oh.
this puts a lot of color down quicker than the pencil.
Yes. I'm getting some weird stuff here. So do you see the granite? Do you see that? Those
Yeah.
spots?
You got bumps.
They're not making me happy.
Oh.
I'm not sure why it's doing that. So I'm just gonna press harder and see if that helps. So if you're really struggling with it, and it's not working for you, it's most likely the material. It's either the paper, you got something on the paper. It could be the vine charcoal itself. It's too hard. This is very sensitive to the materials are very, there's a lot of moving parts, I guess.
Okay, I got a basic down.
I'm gonna try a different piece of paper. I know Christina, you have a bunch of different papers. So if you're struggling with it, it might not be you. It could be the material.
Getting that smooth feeling in it.
Yeah. There. So this paper is already,
Better.
yeah, see. And we're basically painting with charcoal now. Because we're laying in a value, piece of color, and we're moving it around. And then you can come in and clean it up around it.
Or it cleans up fast.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When I do the drawings that I do for shows or galleries or for commission, I use Stonehenge. It's a company name, Stonehenge Paper. And
I've heard,
have you?
yeah, I've seen it at Hobby Lobby or somewhere.
Okay. That's a really nice art paper. I love it. I'm used to it and I love the way it handles fine charcoal. Once you get the tools that you like,
Yeah, I understand that.
because different things act differently. So do you see that, Diane? This is on a drawing paper. I'll show you. I'll look at and then wait, what happened to it? Then, so do you see the difference between the
Oh,
two?
yeah. Big difference. Your
So
first
this,
one got bumpy,
yeah, it has bumps in it.
like caught.
It's
in the paper.
annoying. I don't know why. Yeah, it's like,
It grabbed that color.
is it doing the same thing to you?
No, not as bad. But I don't have the option of papers right now.
Yeah. This is a Strath. The one I'm using here that I'm having a better success on is Strathmore.
Mm,
Hobby Lobby used to have Strathmore, but doesn't.
I didn't carry it anymore.
No. They have Artist Loft. Michael's is coming into Lima at the Toys R Us, and they have, I think they have Strathmore.
Okay.
Oh, this is Blix. Blix drawing paper. I'll never use it again for fine charcoal. That's annoying. It's okay for pencil, but not fine charcoal.
What you, well, especially when you know that there's another product out there
Yeah.
that will put down.
He'll do what you want.
Yeah.
It's kind of like buying you know, the card make or whatever.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. This is actually Hobby Lobby. Um, oh yeah. So um, when I draw people, I'm basically doing the same thing. There's a shadow side and a light side of the face. Yeah, see how quickly you can lay in, by lay in the value. I can fill the whole ball up with value and then pull out the light. And just like with the drawing, if I create some value here to separate the cast shadow from the ball, it will lift off the page.
And this vine charcoal lists really well with this.
Oh, with the yeah, isn't it nice? You
Yeah.
can you're drawing with the eraser now by lifting. You're lifting out the light. And then if I make it really dark around,
Put in, I take out, I put in, I take out.
yes. Okay, do you see? I did this. Do you see an outline right here?
Mhm.
Do you see how it distracts from the whole drawing?
Yes.
So I'm gonna fix
Pull it.
that. But there's this tendency when we darken to create outlines. It's just it's just a human thing that we do. But you can make things glow. You get the feeling of light. It glows. Now this one I didn't use a pencil to draw it. So it's a little bit easier to not get rid of that line. So when I draw portraits, like my I did sketches of my dad, and
I saw those. They're fabulous.
those took about 45 minutes. And it was because I did this. I did the shadow side and the lit side. And once you get that structure, thank you though. That was a really special time to sit there and be with him. And he enjoyed watching me. I enjoyed drawing him and we talked. He had Alzheimer's. And
My father is coming next, I think he's getting here Friday with my
yeah.
siblings. He'll be 89 on the 27th.
Oh, how's he doing?
He's doing real good. He's pretty ornery because he's 5 COVID
Yeah.
and a lot of other things in his long life, and he's pretty ornery.
My dad was on there too.
He's pretty ornery. His sister just had a major stroke,
Uh-huh.
and she had a brain bleed with it,
Uh-huh.
and she's doing really well right now. They got her home. She was in Florida, and her daughter got her home, and she's actually doing pretty darn well
Uh-huh.
for what she went through. I saw her just this week, and
How old is she? Did you say?
she just turned 84.
Okay.
And for dad and his siblings, he lost, what did we lose? 7 people during that COVID area.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not fun. Not
That's a
all
lot.
COVID, not all COVID, but he lost uh, 3 siblings, and we lost his in-laws, and yeah, all that
Wow.
crazy stuff. But yeah,
That's
that
a
2-year
lot.
period was really hard on him, but now he's doing pretty good. So I didn't know if he was going to make it down here, and I got a text and said, Dad's coming. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's a good day. Now I have this little eraser so dark with graphite, it looks like my chalk.
Okay, what you do there to clean it with the kneadable eraser is you like silly putty, you just stretch it.
Stretch it and pull it in.
Yeah,
I have to put it, I got a little tiny piece, I have to put some more with it.
like taffy. And you just move it like that, and that's how you clean it. And then you go in and you clean up I changed it. I made this my hardest edge right here. So I put the hardest edge at the top of the ball in the background.
My shadow doesn't match my hard edge, and I'm trying to fix that. I've got my
On the ball or the cast shadow.
shadow.
Let me see. Go ahead and drop a picture and see what you got. This is fine charcoal. That's nice. Okay,
That's that paper, so
that's,
mine didn't go the other direction like yours did.
no, this is really nice. Really nice. Okay, let's talk edges. So is this,
Yeah, that's what I've been messing with.
that's all a hard edge, isn't it?
It needs softer, doesn't it?
Take your finger. Yeah, because it looks like it's distracting from this, the beauty of this. It's becoming about that.
And I think it ended up being a hard edge because I was erasing.
Yeah, so go ahead and take your finger, wipe it off on your jeans or something. Take, well, be careful about that because a clean finger will take a lot out. But just go along the edge and soften. And even up here, be a little bit more aggressive and let that up here just really fall off.
I'm gonna pull it back.
So I'll create what you have down here on mine. The value between the cast shadow and the shadow on the ball is lovely. You can make it the edge a little bit tighter there. Okay, this is what I see on yours. So I would just go in and soften this a little bit, soften this a lot. So this is more a lot, just let it fall out.
Okay.
Soften this a little bit. And this too, up here.
I think just softening the end of it really pushed
Yeah.
that.
That helped a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Then you can go in. Once you do all that, then you can tighten this up a little bit. And a trick I do is I'll use pencil, my 6B, and judiciously, just very lightly, you can tighten up.
Okay.
You have to be careful because you're now using two different materials, so you just have to be a little careful the way you do it. I got a fingerprint on mine. You can see the oil right here. Once you get oil or fingerprint on it, you can't. You're done.
Mhm.
You either put more fingerprints on it in other strategic places.
Yeah.
One is a mistake, 100 is fine art. But you can lightly blend in some graphite. It's all graphite, so it's not a mixed media.
Yeah.
Just to pull it out. How's that going?
Good. I'm doing graphite. I just thought I'd stick with it for this one.
I did a drawing. Oh, well, I could show you an example. I did a drawing for I think where it's at. Um, for a commission piece. Let's see. This. So this is a fine charcoal. That's
my.
fine charcoal graphite.
Phew.
And that's a combination.
That's cool.
Is that fun? And you can see the fine charcoal right here. See the texture? That's fine charcoal. This is graphite on the saddle. the face is basically a sphere, and it's the shadow shape. Do you see the shadow shape on the face across the eyes and on the side?
Yeah.
And the separation from the shadow and the light. His face took, half an hour to do. The rest, getting the value in and getting the horse, that took a lot more.
Thing is, I've never done faces, so if we ever get a chance,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be something.
To do portraits? Yeah.
I
Once what I'm teaching you right now, you could draw anything. I've got um I've got a student who couldn't draw at all last December, and she's drawing dogs now. And I didn't teach her how to draw a dog. She's utilizing what I'm teaching you.
doing.
So when I draw portraits, I'm doing this. The thing about, but yeah, so it would be an easy class to teach for you to learn because you understand this. You have an understanding how to do that.
Getting lines that
Okay, take a picture and share it. Let me.
yeah, I'm getting a couple lines that are frustrating right now.
Oh, I'll show you how to take care of that. Lines or edges, there's a difference.
I'm gonna call them holes.
Oh, okay. I'll show you how to fix that. It's right. Let me make sure I'm in the right hole. The fact that you can see the hole is amazing, but it's right here, right?
Yes, but also that line the hole line that would make it smooth and circumference.
Right here.
Yes, that was what I was messing with, and it didn't want to smooth out right now for me.
Okay,
So-
let's address this piece. I'm gonna put a hole in here. Yours isn't that big, but
right.
it's doing that, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about holes is just getting the material in the hole and not in the dark. So getting some material in there and then fluffing it out. Now, do you have a blender shader?
The stick, yes, yeah,
Try,
using that.
and what you could do is on trick on that is on a separate piece of paper, put some material down, dirty up the blender, and then blend it in. And sometimes it's knitting what's around it into it. So I'm basically drawing with a dirty blender.
Got it.
And then with the blender too, for that little worm thing that you've got, you can get
Yes.
in there and just,
Do the same thing.
yeah,
Got it.
just make it dirty on the tip and work in the tip. And then with the blender, I would go on the outside on the cast shadow and make it darker on the cast shadow. My dad would teach adults how to play piano. So he had a quick method for them to play right away. And I learned by reading music and he played by ear. So I was taking lessons from him, going over and spending time with them. And I would mess up. I'm like, dang it, I keep messing up. He goes, Michelle, at least you know you're messing up.
Yeah, at least you know the difference.
Some students don't even know they're messing up. But then he'd say, when you mess up, don't have a funeral. keep moving. And if you're really good, mess up when you go back around, do the same thing.
But twice.
Yeah, keep doing the same mistake. And
Does
no
it
one will know.
that doesn't sound as bad, right?
Well, no one will know it's a mistake if you keep doing it. So knowing that you messed up and then not having a funeral. Don't obsess on it. Keep moving. That was my dad's. Oh, so it's kind of interesting on your drawing. It's fun. So mine, you could tell the ball is coming here, to the right. But yours, it almost feels like you're looking down on it, doesn't it? Like you're looking
On the
down.
top.
Is that fun? Do you see the difference
Yes.
between mine?
I know.
Mine feels flat. Yours feels like you're doing that. It's very dynamic. I'm saying it's good. It's fun. It's fun to look at. And the way you're utilizing the light on it, it feels like you're looking down on it. So
Okay, I'm
A
Yeah.
plus for interesting drawing.
okay. I
Let's
like
see
how
where
it'll lift just a simple touch, even finger touch.
Oh, I know.
Okay, I'm sending you.
Now imagine I had a piece that was sold and then I had to fix it. And it was like,
No, thank you.
Now you understand how you do it and it moves and then do it and it moves. It's like it's slippery. But
It's definitely slippery.
look how beautiful that is. Look how gorgeous. Look at that. Diane, look at your screen.
I'm getting rid of that for now. It's not my friend right now.
Look at your screen. Look at how it just glows. Isn't it beautiful? Yes.
I think the outside other shadow just,
Which
like-
one?
yeah, the on the right, far right.
On this side? Okay. So it's a little bit, you've got a radiating thing going on. I'm not hating it. There's something about it that's very interesting because see how it's pulling your eye in?
Yes.
I would say I'd stick a fork in it and say it's done. Look how beautiful that is.
I'm messing with one corner. I put that silly pencil down and it left a dark mark. I'm pulling it back out.
And if you get a line in there, when you were saying that you were seeing a line, if you get a line, I'll do something weird like that. If I have a line like this,
Mm-hmm.
if you make it really fine tip with your eraser, you can pop it out, kiss it out.
That's what I did. I kissed this one out and then I blended a little bit. I
Yes.
put it out. And I think this vine, it allows you to do that. It's very forgiving.
Yes. It's very sculptural. Now the thing, like I said, storing these because you see how I can you can lose the whole.
Yes.
I should have kept that. I'm gonna stop recording.